These right here are my actual numbers in just 3 months selling on Fiverr. In this video, I'm going to completely share everything. I'm even gonna share with you what my actual gig was, which I know a lot of people don't do. I wanna be completely transparent, completely honest about the experience, so subscribe. The second thing I wanna talk about is how I did it. For those who don't know what Fiverr is, it's basically a huge online marketplace in which you can offer literally every service starting at $5. And I wanna make some money on the side, so I decided to give it a try. I started off by doing some research on what gig I was going to offer. After some experience working with a UI designer years earlier, I knew this could be a moneymaker.
Okay, so I literally paid this designer $1,000 to do my UI design before, so I think there's gotta be some potential in it.
UI design is basically doing the design elements for the apps and web pages that you see. And I specifically wanted to focus on mobile designs, but I also knew nothing. So I went to YouTube, looked up UI basics, and I started learning. I started learning for a tool called Figma, which is probably the most popular design tool in UI work, super easy to learn and makes sense to use. And for about 6 hours, I studied the basics. And once I got the hang of it, I decided to try on my skills for myself and build a little portfolio. The first one, I did a recreation of existing app with some modifications.
My very first design is complete. I really think I did a good job here. You can see like all the elements coming together. Just 6 hours of learning and an hour sketching this out. We got this here, so with the gradients, we got everything. So I think we're really starting to get the hang of it. I'm just gonna do 2 more apps. So we have 3 things ready to go for the portfolio. So
I then did 2 others from scratch, along with some YouTube tutorials, and in total, it took me around 6 more hours. Then I needed to sign up for a Fiverr account. I actually have a full tutorial here, but I created a username that worked in my name and what I was doing and uploaded my picture too. I then got to work on creating my gig. I used the images from the portfolio of those 3 apps I created earlier and a Canva template to get that listing together and threw some text on it too. I whipped up a bio, I made sure it looked good next to all the other UI sellers, and I included some advantages I was offering. Okay, so I was offering to do a free intro call with clients, and I'm emphasizing that I'm young and can relate to a younger audience.
let's go.
So I'm employing here what I call the progression strategy. I start off listing my service at the cheapest rate possible, offering the most value to get my first orders and reviews to come in. I don't even expect to make much money off these first few, but once I get some reviews, I'm gonna slowly start raising my rates until I'm finally making what I want. Okay, I know getting your first order takes forever, and it is the most important. So I'm gonna call up a couple friends and see if I can get someone to place an order that I know.
Hey, so I was wondering, do you still need that design for your app?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely do.
So I actually just launched my service on Fiverr. Do you think you could order from me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
So I got my first order, got into Figma, sketched it out, delivered, and he loved it. So I got my first 5-star review.
Let's go.
And it didn't take long for my next potential client to hit me up. He wanted a design for his construction app, and I actually convinced him to break his order up into several pieces. It took me several hours, probably 5 or 6. Submitted, he was satisfied, and I had 4 more 5-star reviews from him for a total of 5. And here's where the orders started coming in. I was originally offering 3 screens for $5, but I quickly raised it for 3 for $10 to 2 for $10 and eventually 2 for $15, which is still an amazing deal. And after my first month, I had completed 12 orders, had $540 in earnings and 9 reviews. So then I raised my rates. I basically doubled it to 1 screen for $15. And month 2 went even smoother than the first. I was having even more clients hit me up. The video calls were going like a charm and were an opportunity for me to do a sales call and win people over on the call and get their order while I'm still on the phone with them. And the reviews were starting to add up. One of the best things about selling on Fiverr is I was learning as I was going. I started off as a beginner, but each new project gave me a chance to learn something new and get better. And I got the same number of orders this month, 12, but I ended up making over $2,100 from those orders as I'd raised my rates so much and was sitting at a total of 17 reviews. And then came month 3.
I think I'm about to get my first bad review. It's crazy because she talked to me on the phone before and we had a great convo, but now she's just gone full crazy. And basically she's telling me she hired 2 designers for the same project with the full intention of trying to refund and cancel on the delivery she liked the least, which is just not cool or how Fiverr or any of this works.
Basically, she was telling me she hired 2 designers for the same project with the full intention of trying to refund and cancel on the delivery she liked the least, which is just not cool or how Fiverr or any of this works. And she blackmailed me saying if I don't refund her money, she would leave me a 1-star review. So I was stuck with the situation of either refunding her for the work I completed or keeping the $250 and taking the 1-star review. review. And I decided to just take the 1-star review. So sure enough, she left a 1-star review, but thanks to all the other great feedback I was receiving, I got level 1 status. Fiverr has a series of levels that you can reach, and as a seller, you hit certain metrics, and they each come with a badge, a little boost in the search, and what I discovered to be my favorite perk, promoted gigs. Promoted gigs let me set a budget of $5 a day for my gig to shoot up in the search results, and immediately messages from clients doubled overnight. I was able to start picking and choosing who I wanted to work with, and basically every second that I wanted to be spending working on UI designs, there was a project lined up ready to work on. And because of all this, I started charging now $35 a screen by the end of the month with over 27 reviews. Now for the grand total of how much I made in the 100 days of freelancing on Fiverr, $7,820. That even includes that first month where I was literally charging nothing for my work and made $500. And I've gone on to make lots more than that from Fiverr. Now, was it worth it? I think totally. With just a few hours of work, I was able to create a revenue source I'll be able to tap into whenever I happen to need money on the side. I was able to pick how much I wanted to work, who I worked with, pick which hours I worked, and can also have worked from anywhere. I could have been traveling or in any place I wanted to be, and also I think what I did was so copyable for anyone wanting to get started. If you want to do the same, I actually have a guide on how you can find success on Fiverr in my description. It's free, so click that if you want to follow the same plan that I did. Subscribe, and I'll see you next time.